Welcome back to After Battle. I'm your host as always, Daniel Levi, and joining me now is Albert the Warrior Morales. Albert, welcome back to After Battle, man.
Hey man, it's good to be back. It feels like home now.
Dude, and now you're here to stay in the UFC, man. You got your first win officially. I mean, look, we all thought you beat Alejandro, but now it's official. No one can deny it. Not only tell me how that feels, but tell me how that feels considering everything that you've been through in your life to get to this point now, man.
Oh man, it feels amazing, dude. It's just man, it's almost unreal, man. Like if you guys watched the post-fight interview with me and Joe Rogan, man, it was kind of crazy to be able to even just get interviewed by him, because we don't know how long Joe Rogan's going to be here in the first place, man. You know, there's so many big changes. You know, the last couple of times it was Brian Stan, I think. So I don't know, man. It's just like a dream come true. It's about damn time, man. I've been grinding for a long time to get this. You know, it's the crazy thing is, man, I felt everything in the UFC so far. I fought a win, a loss, and even a draw, man. So I felt them all. I know which one I like the most. So let's just keep it on that side.
This fight, I mean, it was just like your first two fights. It was another fight of the night type fight. And going into the third round, man, it was 1-1, and you had to make a decision right then and there that, look, man, I'm going to go out and win this fight. Tell me about what was going through your mind the moments leading into the third round.
Man, I just sat back in my corner and I was just kind of frustrated at I've been working a lot with Coach Kenny Johnson. I just recently moved back to Black House. So I've been working my wrestling a lot, and I've been working a specific takedown, and it was from the cage. And in the second round, I went for it, and I didn't get it in the first go, and then I just tried to muscle it because I knew I can do it. He ended up falling on top. And so that's the biggest thing of the whole second round. And in the corner, I was just like, man, I can't believe you did that. It wasn't that you missed the technique. It's just that you got so hungry, and that's something that you've been working on, is just to stay composed. And so I was kind of pissed off at myself there. But then I told myself, yo, you're down one, so you got to win this round. My coaches told me straight up, you got to win this round. So that was it, man. I just had to wait for an opportunity to get something. If I knocked him out, or like I landed on the back. So I knew I needed to get that win and stay on top.
Once you got your arm raised and, you knew the judges scored it for you, what was that like, dude?
Crazy. There's really no way to explain it, man. At the same time, you want to say, or for example, like I want to say, I expect to win all the time, but I've been through so much crap this past, this UFC run, that it just feels like I'm on top of the world, man. And then the fans made it even better, man. It's crazy, bro. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. There's no way to explain it, man. It's just the best thing in the world, bro.
Yeah, man. Super happy for you, dude. And let me ask you this, man. Is Albert Morales capable of having a boring fight?
No, man. There's no way I could have a boring fight. At the end of the day, this is the first thing I tell people, that I'm an entertainer. Sure, I want the belt. I will get the belt, but I'm here for the fans. They're the guys. That's who we're fighting for at the end of the day, man. If it's not exciting, they're not going to show up. They're not going to pay to see the fight. So I pride myself in being an action-packed fighter. I'm always going to start off standing. If it goes to the ground, it goes to the ground. There's always going to be some type of blood, man. Whether it's mine or his, and that's it, man. I just pride myself on being an action-packed fighter.
What's next for you, man? I know obviously you'll fight anyone, anytime, any place, but if it were up to you, what would be next?
Up to me, man? Give me a full camp with Thomas Almeida. That's the whole thing that I'm preparing for. But like you said, it's anytime, any place, man. I'll take anybody in the top 10. I'll take Aljamain Sterling, Brian Scaraway. I know that's not his real name. I'll fight all of them, dude. Anybody, dude. Anybody in the top 10. Hani Yahya. I got a bunch of guys that are managed by Jason House, and that's my manager, Team Iridium, that are 135ers. So obviously we're not going to fight. So Chico and Joe Soto are out the picture. But I mean, everybody else, dude, it's open season.
Like I was saying earlier on the show, you're a guy that's been through a lot, and you turn things around, and now obviously you're in the UFC, you're here to stay. But for other people that are in similar situations now that you were in back then, what would you tell them, about sticking things through and being like, look, you can turn things around and you can do something great with your life?
Yeah, the biggest thing is just you can't listen to what people are saying, and it could even be the closest people to you, like your mom, dad, brother, sister, even girlfriend, man. If you believe that you can do something, you can do it. And, you know, if you look at my stories, I'm proof of it. And so, and don't get me wrong, I'm not the worst situation ever. There's guys that have way worse situations that have made it through. But I'm just saying, as long as you believe in yourself and you do anything and everything that you can do to get better at what you're trying to do every single day, you know, there's going to be days where you're going to slip up, but as long as you beat that day, just every day you try to be better, at least 1% better every single day, then you'll reach your goal. It might not happen overnight. It might not happen, you know, in 4 years like it did mine, but it's going to happen if you keep pushing it.
Also, like we were saying, you know, it's not like it happened overnight with you, man. I mean, you had to go through your bumps in the road as well. And when it finally did happen for you, I mean, that must have been so sweet, dude.
Yeah, definitely, man. Like I said, I felt everything I need to feel and freaking and on the big stage. It's kind of weird, man. Coming into this fight, even on a 1 week's notice, I felt like I've been here. It's been 2 fights. That was my third fight, but I really felt like you know, I call them the boys and girls in blue. They're the workers at the UFC. They all knew my face, you know, just because of my positive vibes. They all know and love me. You know, going into the fitting room, everybody knows me, hooks me up with nice, cool gear. You know, I remember the first time it was just like they had no idea who I was, so they kind of gave me the bottom of the barrel. But this time they hooked me up, and everybody was like, "Hey, Albert," and just you know, weigh-ins, everything. I knew the snacks that were going to be on the table. I knew how, you know, I felt everything before, and it just felt like I belonged there. It's just awesome, and I just can't now that I feel like I'm here and I'm here to stay. I really truly believe I'm here to stay, and I feel the fans know that too, man. It's just crazy, man. I'm excited to see what the future holds.
Man, it must be awesome to feel at home for your job. And you know, a lot of dudes complain, but in my opinion, Albert, it's all about your attitude, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. And I see it, and I see the opposite side too, because I see guys that are dicks to the guys and girls in blue, you know. But if it wasn't for them, the ship would be sinking, man. Like, you know, the UFC, man. Everybody. Well, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm new, so I don't know what it used to be like or anything like that. So I can't really say anything about that. But from what I understand, from what I see, compared to any other promotion, man, they're a machine, dude. They make sure the only thing we need to focus on fight week is if you're on the main card is some media obligations and your weight cut, you know, and that's it, and winning the fight, and that's all that you have to worry about. The media thing, people say it's a pain in the ass, man. Unless you're Conor McGregor, I don't think it's really that big of a deal, man. I remember coming up, you know, like even a couple years ago, for someone to interview me was like the biggest thing in the world for me, because now I feel like I'm somebody. So it's just part of the job, man. And if you look at it in a negative way and complain about it, then then you're gonna hate it. But you just gotta take it for what it is and just embrace the moment, man. Because if you weren't fighting, you'd be at home wishing you were getting interviewed.
Yeah, man. Now, dude, going into that third round in your last fight, man, was that due to your heart or your experience or both?
I think it had to do with my heart, definitely experience, but it was definitely more of my heart, man. I was tired, dude. I was tired. That 1 week notice fight, man. That shit wasn't cool, you know. But I needed it. I know Andre was in camp. He was preparing for a title fight, a title defense fight. So he was a little bit more prepared than I was. Not going to say he was prepared for my style or anything like that, but I mean, he was in a little bit better shape, I'm pretty sure. I was in shape, but I wasn't in fight shape. I wasn't geared to fight. I wanted to fight, but, you know, it's kind of hard to be motivated and train as if you have a fight when you don't really have a fight. So yeah, definitely, man. It had to do with, like, I really had to dig deep, man. I know when I had that back, I was just like, fuck you, I am not letting go of this shit. And that was it, man.
Yeah, and dude, credit to Andre, man, because he's super tough. And I know probably the week before the fight when you were watching the film on him, I know you saw that flying knee knockout he had on the regional scene, right?
Oh yeah, yep. That's something I picked up right away, man. The guy likes to throw knees, even off the cage, flying knees. So I knew that was coming, so I kind of avoided. And it's usually that right knee. So, you know, I was avoiding that right knee majority of the time. He threw it a couple times. One time, I think he actually kind of grazed me, but that's something that I picked up mentally myself. My coach didn't really even have to tell me about that because I just picked it up because I knew that was something that he was going to use. And that's another cool thing, man. Just being 3 fights into the UFC, I'm starting to like evolve in a rapid pace where I'm starting to see things as I'm even fighting. So I don't know, man. I'm just really excited to be where I'm at.
When you say that you're starting to see things while you're fighting, do you mean that you're starting to, see things that you thought you'd see based on the film, or are you talking about just in the moment?
Yeah, like I guess seeing what I saw on film, but like in the moment and not thinking so much more than like it's like because if you think you're a second too late, so it's more like it's like a weird kind of I'm seeing it, like I can see it, read it, analyze it, and then do whatever I have to do to avoid it or catch or maybe I get kicked or punch something like real quick, and then I can analyze what happened just now, how did I get punched, how to avoid it. And so I'm starting to pick that up a little bit faster, but it's not like I'm thinking about it. It's just like my body's automatically doing that. And I feel that's just because my mind has kind of turned into, okay, you're in the big leagues now, so we got to step it up. And I kind of did it subconsciously, so it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, man, that's interesting. Now, dude, there was a moment where you threw like 10 liver shots in a row. Were you at all like, the fuck is this guy doing?
Yeah, dude, it was in the third round. It was right before the last scramble where I took his back. We were going toe to toe, and he throws one liver shot, and I'm just like, wow, like I'm an idiot. He threw that, and I didn't counter or anything. He didn't even set it up. It was literally like a straight liver shot, and I was like, okay. Well, I've been practicing taking punches in the liver after the Thomas Almeida fight. So I'm like, okay. And then he hits it again with no setup. I'm like, what the did this one just do that twice to me? Like, at this point, I'm kind of like mad at myself in a way. I'm like, fool me once, shame on you. What is it? Shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And then he hits me again with the same thing. I'm just like, man, fuck this. And then like I just kind of rush him, and then we get into this little scramble, and I end up taking his back. But yeah, he hit me with 3 times with the same exact move with no setup. That was just me having like a complete brain fart, man. And but props to him to go for it. Shoot, if I'm not doing that, then might as well go for it again.
Yeah, that was a great fight, man. So again, I'm really happy for you. But dude, before I let you go, I can't let you go without a couple fight predictions, man.
All good, bro.
So, Gegard Mousasi is taking on Chris Weidman in 2 weeks. What are you thinking, man? Because right now, they're favoring Mousasi. Weidman's an underdog. Weidman, the former champ, knocked out Anderson Silva back when, that was unheard of. He was 16-0 at the time, but Weidman's been looking a little bit different lately. I don't know what it is, bro. What are you thinking for this fight?
I'm big on Mousasi, but I don't know, man. Weidman's a beast, dude. He's if he just goes back to what he's good at, and which is like grinding you out on the ground, looking for a shot, taking you down, just keep grinding you out on the ground. I think he can be a little bit too much on top for Gegard, because Gegard he seems a little smaller than Weidman to me, and I feel like Weidman would be like really kind of hard to submit on the ground. But the thing is, Gegard's just been crazy right now, man. He's getting better with age. It's kind of weird. So I don't count Weidman out at all, but I'm rooting for Gegard for sure. I think if I were to put my money down, you said Weidman's is he a huge underdog?
Yeah, he's plus 110, so slight underdog, but still, it's kind of weird seeing a plus number next to Weidman's name. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's because he's been having a pretty bad run, especially getting knocked out by Yoel Romero. But Yoel's a beast, dude. And don't get me wrong, Gegard's a beast too. But we'll see. That's a good fight to watch. I'm gonna go with Gegard.
Yeah, I cannot wait, man. And also on the card, Daniel Cormier and Anthony Rumble Johnson. It's literally minus 110 apiece. It's as close as it can get. What are you thinking, dude? Because the first time, DC took Rumble's supposed best shot, but at the same time, I watched it again. That shot that sent him across the octagon, it wasn't to the chin, man. So I'm thinking if Rumble can connect with him clean, he could put him out. But if he doesn't, that grind, you know what I mean? That grind to DC is ridiculous.
Yeah, well, last time I heard, DC said he wanted to stand up with Rumble, and if he does, he's going night night. I can't go for DC anyways, man. I'm just not not a huge fan of DC. His wrestling is great, but I don't know, man. I hope Rumble puts him out in the first round. If not, then we already know who's gonna win that fight. Well, but yeah. I'm gonna go with Rumble finishing him in the first or second, hopefully. But if it gets anything past that, DC's just gonna wrestle the hell out of him.
Man, it would be cool to see Rumble win the belt. I mean, it's not often you see a guy. It's not often you see a guy that went from 170 to 205. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, he deserves it, dude. He's been through hell, man. Crazy weight cuts, getting kicked out the UFC, coming back to the UFC. It'd be cool to see that. It'd be cool to see that guy win. DC needs to fight John Jones. That's all I care about.
Man, it'd be cool to see John Jones back in there. It's been a while.
I know, man. I know. I think he's got a jiu-jitsu super fight with somebody too. With I don't know if I think his name is something Gordon, Ryan Gordon. I think it is his name. He's a Henzo guy or
yeah, that guy's real good.
Under Henzo. That's gonna be a crazy fight, man. That's gonna be a cool jiu-jitsu fight.
Dude, did you see Shoeface versus Gary Tonin?
Oh yeah, hell yeah, that was gangster, man. Gary's a beast, bro.
I couldn't believe that.
Such a beast. Yeah.
Shit was crazy.
He's crazy, man.
Damian Maia is taking on Jorge Gamebred Masvidal. I mean, isn't that just a hell of a fight, man? I mean, Damian Maia is a tough matchup for anyone, but Jorge Masvidal is always underrated, and I feel like he can sprawl and brawl old school Chuck Liddell style. We'll see if it works out. It's easier said than done with a guy like Damian Maia, you know?
Yeah, no, Damian Maia right now, his wrestling. See, the cool thing about Damian Maia was, like usually jiu-jitsu guys, they're like, okay, I'm really good at jiu-jitsu, so I'm going to go work on my striking so I can kind of but you'll never catch up to a freaking striker. You'll never, catch up to a guy that's been doing this as long as you've been doing jiu-jitsu. It's really not likely. So instead of that, he tried that out, and then he got beat by Anderson way back, and then it was just kind of up and down. Then he decided, I'm just going to work my wrestling. And then now look at him. He's freaking taking everybody down and just putting clinics on people. So I think right now, Damian Maia is ridiculous, dude. So George kind of gets into that sprawl and brawl kind of thing. And if he gets close enough to Damian Maia is going to take his ass down and grind him out. So I got Damian on that for sure. But George he's been on a tear lately, especially that win over Cowboy. But I don't think it's going to be enough for Damian Maia.
Dude, Dustin Poirier and Eddie Alvarez are going to throw down. All I know is that those two are going to be swinging until one guy goes down. The question is, which guy is going to go down?
Yeah, man, I'm a huge fan of Dustin's. I've been with Dustin. I've been a fan of Dustin's. Whew. Man, he's such a beast, bro. Who'd you say he's fighting again? I completely forgot. I had a brain fart.
Eddie Alvarez.
Whew. Whew. That's like, well, it'll be good to see. We've seen Eddie come back from a loss. Because we've seen Eddie come back from knockouts, but we haven't seen him come back from something like that happened with him and Conor. So yeah, that's definitely interesting to see how he reacts to this. And he doesn't got an easy fight, man. I guess it's easier than what it could have been, but Dustin's a killer, bro. And didn't Dustin hurt his leg his last fight?
Yeah, he did, man. It was surprising. He was going to work on Jim Miller, and then he took a couple of kicks to the calf, and he got put down with them.
Yeah, I thought he was saying he thought he broke his leg or something like that. So that's interesting too. But if Dustin thinks he's good, I'm pretty sure he's good, man. He's not making any dumb decisions. So I got to root with. I'm going for Dustin. I think Eddie Alvarez probably took a pretty good hit to that chin, to that head.
Yeah.
Took a couple good shots. And I think he still belongs in the UFC, but I think he's hit his time, you know what I mean? And I think Dustin still hasn't hit his prime, So I think Dustin's gonna get him. It'll be cool because it's both southpaw versus southpaw also. So that's another thing that we can look into. But Eddie Alvarez versus Conor was southpaw versus southpaw too. So we'll see. That fight's gonna be fight of the night for sure, though.
Also on that card, they stacked that 211 card. It's ridiculous. Frankie Edgar is taking on Yair Rodriguez, and I mean, part of me thinks that Frankie Edgar can take him down and do some old school Frankie Edgar, but part of me also thinks that, you know, he's already climbed up the mountain so many times. Like, how many more times can he pick himself back up again? And with a guy like Yair, he's evolving every single fight. I know people criticize him and say that flash doesn't work at the highest level, but I think it works if you got the fundamentals down, and the dude's been using his takedowns. He's been establishing his jab. So I feel like Yair's been making big improvements, and this could be the time where he catches a legend like Frankie Edgar. But that's why we tune in, because we don't know. But what are you thinking, bro?
That's a good one, man, because I wasn't big on the hype with Yair either, but the dude puts people out. And, you know, I'm not going to say anything about the BJ fight, because the BJ is the GOAT, you know, in my opinion. But that wasn't really a test for him. So this will be a first real test, because Frankie is a walking legend, but a legit walking legend. He still moves around, and the question is to see, like, what's his name? Frankie Edgar is not going to stay put in one spot ever. So the flashy stuff might not work on him, man. Yeah, you're going to have to, like, set it up and get Frankie tired, and I don't see that happening before you can do any flashy things. So that's going to be a good one, man. But the thing is, I think Frankie's going to be a little bit way too experienced for any of that flashy stuff. I don't think Frankie will ever stay put for him to even set up anything flashy. He does have the range on him, so if he just went straight boxing and just kind of like just used his range, then I could see Yair win. And if he can process that and kind of just slow it down and pick Frankie apart, then I would say, Yair's here to stay for sure. Like he's gonna get that belt one day. But it all depends on what he does that day. Stylistically, I give it to Frankie.
Yeah, this fight's going to tell us everything we need to know, honestly, about both guys, man, because if Edgar drops it, then we know, that, maybe it's time. But at the same time, if Frankie goes out there and beats a young gun like Yair, that'll tell me the dude's still hungry and wants another crack at that title. So, yeah, I cannot wait to see what happens. Well, Albert, thanks so much for the time as always. And the first time we speak with you with an official win from the UFC, and I'm stoked about that. I'm sure you are too. Anything you want to tell the fans before we get out of here, man?
No, man, just thank you guys for being a part of Team Warrior. Thanks for being part of Half the Battle. And thanks for being fans of the UFC, guys. We go out there and put our lives on the line, literally. And that's it, dude. That's it. Go follow me on Instagram and Facebook, Twitter, Warrior135 UFC. If you're into sneakers, video games, and fights, I'm your guy. Go follow me.
Yes, sir. Albert, thanks again, brother. Have a great day, my man.
You too, brother.